All right, sir. Your name, your voice has been there. Even I can put it that even like a new journalist like myself. Ever since we've been finding a way to order, we've been hearing the name. All right, now, just can we meet you? Let's understand. Let's know
Well,
the
I,
name man
I think you
himself.
properly introduced me. I am Omoyele Sowore. I'm a journalist. I call myself a media activist,
Okay.
citizen reporter, and been a human rights activist all my life. Before then, was a student activist, pro-democracy,
Okay.
agitator, and an investigative reporter.
Okay.
I've done it all
All right.
over the last 29 years.
Wow.
Yes.
29 years into the job. Okay, now let's just get out to the business. Now, with the election coming up next year, in February precisely now, and you're one of the candidates.
That's right.
Hopefully you'll get there. Now, what with the way the country is today,
Yes.
what are the main angles that you intend to change?
I would definitely want to do a lot of things at the same time because so many of the things that we need to do must be happening side by side. And but most importantly, I think at this point we've all come to the conclusion that we must make this country secure. And it's very sad that it's the same sing-song over this year that Nigeria is an insecure place. But particularly now, we need to make Nigeria secure for Nigerians and no Nigerians are living within a geographical space called Nigeria. And of course, our second priority is power, energy, electricity, and then build an infrastructural system in a country that is modern and able to deliver on the aspirations of our people to make this country a livable place. Make it, that's also part of safety. I haven't talked a lot about it, but let's think about how many kilometers of roads we have and how many of them are dilapidated, almost every piece of it. But we want to fix the part that's dilapidated and also add 100% of that in a dualized way. We need to build new railway systems in areas where they don't exist, standardize the gauges where they exist, and put in coaches that actually are able to transport human beings, not animals. We need to build 17 million new homes in this country. In the education sector, 13 million kids need to be taken off the streets and properly educated so that they can help build the future of this country. For workers, we have plans to give them a living wage of 100,000 minimum.
How are you going to come to that? Because with what we have it today, how would that be possible? Because we have governors now that are screaming that they cannot.
The governors are not working for workers; they're working for themselves. Have you ever heard in this country that governors cannot pay themselves security votes?
No.
Never. Yeah. And security votes of one governor, just one governor, probably can pay in some cases half of the population of their workers. So when you have people who are irresponsible, who are greedy, who don't care, then things will not, even if you ask them not to pay workers, they will still complain. But don't forget, I think it was in Gombe State that a governor came out and said he can afford 66,000 naira. That tells you that the money is there, is available. It just requires that you have selfless and responsible governors. So let me give you an example. It will cost us just an additional $1.5 billion every year to improve, to give workers a minimum wage that's also a living wage. Just $1.5 billion.
$1.5 billion.
Yeah. But that's money that will stay within Nigeria ecosystem. Because people who are earning money minimum wage don't take money out. They use it to empower themselves and empower people. They grow local businesses. So it helps improve the local economy.
We thought that from the campaign that we had in 2015, that yes, they were going to work on it. Yes, they did, to the point that we heard that they've been crushed out, the Boko Haram. But today, it's more like they have taken another phase.
Yeah.
If you had that opportunity, what would you do different?
So let me start by saying that the current crop of leaders in Nigeria, this is their capacity. This is the best they can deliver. They don't have an idea how modern terrorism
Works.
or insurgency works or how they're formed and how they operate. They don't. You've seen videos of a soldier who said we are using tanks bought in 1983 to fight terrorists of 2018. You understand? You can already tell why we're failing. So what we do is to, you know, use technology to fight terrorism. And I would say something very basic to you. I couldn't find, since I've been moving around Nigeria, a military drone in the air.
Not one.
Not one. You know, during President Goodluck Jonathan's era, he commissioned a drone they said was made by the Nigerian military. When President Buhari came, they repainted the drone and he commissioned it too.
Well,
Yeah.
he commissioned one,
Well,
and the one was.
This is public information. It's not. I'm not making it up. And so that means they have only one drone. Drones are all over. Even I own a drone for commercial, non-commercial purposes. It's able to go 4 kilometers around and come back to the same thing, just to look around town. You know, when I'm doing campaign, I put it up there. You know, but we can't find it with our police. We can't find it with our army. So even modern ways of collecting intelligence we don't have. We obviously don't have modern, you know, equipments to fight terrorism. We are rationing guns and bullets. We do not put our soldiers in armored personnel carriers. We are using open roof vans that are prefabricated or fabricated locally, and we put gun trucks. You know, the way we are fighting terrorism is driven by corruption. Boko Haram has become a big business. It has become an industrial complex in Nigeria where people are making money from it. Army generals. That's why I said, and I'll repeat it here again and here, that when I come in next year, I'm going to fire all the serving generals who are involved with the war.
Okay.
Yes, it's time for them to go. This is how it is done in other countries. You ensure that people who are not doing their jobs they're relieved of their responsibilities.
Replaced with
and
another.
You replace with. I did a research and found out that there are only 5,000 officer cadres in Nigerian army of about 300,000 or more.
5,000.
5,000. So the pressure is much. The reason is that the upper echelon, the generals, don't promote their juniors because they don't want to get edged out. Look at even under the Buhari regime, they have not replaced army chief of, chief of staff. You know, all the top echelon of the military have been overdue for replacement for 2 years now. They keep renewing their tenure. It kills the morale of the junior staff. It kills the morale of soldiers fighting out there. The soldiers are bringing out videos showing that they don't have food, they don't have water, they don't have equipment. They apparently don't get enough training. But they are big officers at the top, are growing tummies and having a good times. You saw what happened under Jonathan. Some of them were buying houses, mansions. We found money everywhere in their homes, under cooking pots, and the tanks over their roofs. We found them in sewage tanks. It's insane what is going on there. And another thing that must be done is also to equip our police to be able to handle civilian issues, so that our soldiers are not brought into the cities to be accompanying wives of generals to parties or carrying bags. They can dedicate themselves to fighting, to protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria, while policing does the civilian work of fighting crime and lead to insurgencies within the country. But the police is no longer doing that. The police is spending most of their time protecting VIPs. So everything is in shambles when it comes to security. And most importantly, we are not collecting intelligence. We are not out there actively seeking who is Boko Haram. How are they moving? That's why I said these modern tools are important. Where have they been to? Where did they go to? When some of them are arrested, we release them back into society without tracking devices, or monitoring where they've been. We don't have a lot of strategies being used by other countries to fight terrorism. So we're just doing what they call try and error. And it's a shame. And we can't continue like that. Otherwise, we're in big trouble.
Okay. Now, all right. When it comes to the part of education right now, when you look at it for a very long time, even in the budget, the answer is just quite obvious.
Yes.
Education and health.
Yes.
The budget within those areas is kind of you get a higher rates of budgets on other parts, but education and health, which is supposed to be one of the key factors in the country now. What would you do different when it comes to that angle?
We have to be specific, and I've said it before. If you're looking at 13 million children out of school, you have to pick a child and decide how much you want to spend on each child. And our decision is we're spending 100,000, starting with every child to send them back to school, pay for lunch, school meals, buy them uniforms, pay their teachers, and build classrooms. Question you ask yourself is that how is it that Nigerian rich people can build mansions with all kinds of very elegant tiles, toilets, and cannot build 6 classrooms in the same village? That just put a fan hanging over there, you put 2 toilets, even if it's dugout toilet, that's the school right there. The roofs, put modern roofing there, and sending teachers. 6 teachers is probably putting 12 teachers per school to do the work with the headmaster supervising. You have a school. We've done it before. We are products of public schools, but they intentionally destroyed. It's not that there's not enough money for education. No, don't let them deceive you. We have to make sure that our budgeting is on par with other countries that are making progress in the educational sector. The same thing with health. Okay, before I go to health, we intend to, part of special intervention, put out 200,000 teachers out there. So many of them can be kids that are finishing from NYC, who are just finishing. We route them back into a 6 months training to become teachers. And send them out the same way we send out NYC, to different parts of the country. So a teacher can come from Sokoto to Ondo State and teach, having been trained for 6 months. And he's then integrated into the teaching structure. He becomes a teacher. Teaching becomes very lucrative because you are paying well. Then you move to secondary school, we need to do the same. Tertiary institution, we need to invest. TED fund money is there lying around. You don't give the universities the money they need. Politicians are spending, and you need to know what scams are taking place in all these tertiary institutions in the last few years. Funds meant for tertiary. There's education tax in Nigeria as well. Monies are lying everywhere, but they are being stolen also everywhere because there's no government out there that is monitoring how these monies are delivered to the primary constituencies for which they are meant. The moment you have a government that's accountable, that's able to focus and monitor deliveries of money, and money is properly spent, your education system will start to look up not. And that is what we need in Nigeria. The same thing goes for health. We want to hire 160,000 health workers across the country, properly trained, so that they can actually start visiting health on people. A lot of people in this country have never had to check their blood pressure before.
No.
Most people. So let's even start from there. And then while at it, we attract some of our best doctors are left to come back. And also make Nigeria a hub for medical tourism, where people from Ghana can come to Nigeria and treat themselves. The same way we are going to India today. We lose $2 billion to medical tourism just to India alone.
India alone,
yes.
Which we know they go to Dubai and other parts of the world.
Dubai is there, America is there. These days there's hardly anybody of means who have their kids in Nigeria. Your wife is pregnant, close, so you find a visa, go and get another citizenship for me. And these 2 things: deliver the child safely and correctly, and get the citizenship of another country for the child. So most kids that are born these days of any parent of means, not poor people, they're not Nigerians, including children of senators, governors, even the president. When the daughter was going to deliver the other day, the delivery was not done in Nigeria. So I'm sure Zara's son or daughter is not a Nigerian as we speak. They don't believe in this country anymore. Nobody does.
Okay, quite interested on that part.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about poverty.
Yes.
We know, right now, We have been known as the hub of poverty.
We are the poverty capital of the
in
world.
the world.
Yeah.
In the world now. It is a serious problem which has been eaten deep into every single individual. Unless one is not a Nigerian, we'll say we don't feel it. Now, it's a problem, and the election is around the corner. And one thing that is going to be flowing within this election time, it's all about money.
Yeah.
Now, how can Nigerians really put that away from the corruption, and how can poverty be tackled on your own angle?
It's popular education. People need to be educated, and that's what we're doing. Anytime we go around, we meet these kind of challenges too, where people ask us for money, and we stop and talk to them and say, look, the people who have been giving you money, what do they do for you? And it starts to sink in immediately. Oh, maybe these guys are different. And this is a message that needs to be passed on from everybody. First is to understand that each time a politician is giving you money, it's the money they stole from you. You're just getting a fraction of it back from them. And they're using that money to also postpone your entitlements. So when you're getting 5,000 naira, if you're lucky, on election day, that's just divide that by another 4 years and tell me how much you get per day. But here is the money that's your next bridge, your next school, your next hospital. That's what they just gave you. They just paid you in advance. So when you go to a politician and ask them for a bridge or a school, and of course they can always point to your stomach and say, we already paid you, and you probably have eaten your future. So that education is very important. Secondly, it's also very important that people understand that politicians who are giving you money have no good intentions for you. And as a result, the new currency for politicking must become ideas. Again, these things are not far-fetched. There have been politicians in northern Nigeria that had different ideas, never gave a dime to people. And we are taking it to the next level. On our level, we are not giving people money, we're actually asking money to donate and people to donate money to us. And if you follow us on the internet, we've been raising money publicly and transparently through what they call GoFundMe. By yesterday, we've received $100,000 from donors across the world, Nigerians and non-Nigerians in some circumstances, I think, but not a huge percentage of that is from non-Nigerians. Before they come and say that you're collecting money from
other people,
other citizens. And locally, we raised almost 30 million naira. We have a Zenith bank account we opened, and we call on people. The majority of people donating are people donating 1,000 naira, 500 naira, 900 naira, because they want to own the political process. They've all seen through the veil the lies and deception of politicians who give money. So as we're speaking now, politicians are not debating with ideas. They are not contesting on the basis of ideas. They are looking for money to distribute on election date and hope that the votes come on their side. In coming into this, we have a revolutionary agenda, and that is to turn things around in the way politicking is done. Is the reason why I have traveled around Nigeria. This is my second time in Sokoto. Doing town hall meetings and taking questions and telling people this is how you can farm. This is how your next doctor is coming to you. This is how your child is going to be educated. This is how you get roof over your head. This is how your next salary is going to come if you're a worker. And we must get into the production game. And to address poverty, all of this must come together, because
how would you, from everything you've mentioned, so I know they're all in the angles to shape the country to a better place now. The minds of Nigerians, if it's one of the biggest targets. Yes, we can say we keep on talking about different things, but if the minds is not being shaped, how would they go? So how would you shape the minds of Nigerians to see the positive things of what they're supposed to be, see where they are to get their rights achieved by themselves?
It's part of what we're doing here today. Is how do we reach their minds? We reach their minds through the mass media platforms, especially through journalists we reach people's mind through education. But you see, when they went after education, this is exactly part of what they wanted to achieve ab initio. Is to achieve a society where the mind becomes, susceptible to manipulation. So anybody who is not well educated is the easiest to manipulate. You know, because then you can put them in this cycle of poverty, ignorance, and disease. PID as they call it globally. The moment people are ignorant, it's very difficult to control their minds. That's why you see, if there's anything that Nigerian politicians or Nigerian elites are smart about, is that they knew very early in the game that to get Nigerians to be on their knees perpetually, you have to destroy the educational system. And they went after it.
All right, Mr. Sowore, thank you very, very much for being with us. But what would be your last message for Nigerians and Sokoto people?
Sokoto people, just this time around is the best and the last, perhaps, opportunity we have to change the direction of governance, to make this country a great country. I believe that you all are feeling the impact of bad governance. You are hungry, you're tired, you're sick. You don't have good roads, you can't send your children to school, you have no electricity, and you all are only good to be thugs and area boys for the rich elites. But think about it, that there's someone out there who is here to help. I can only say that help is on its way. If only we can take the right decision and vote for our party, that is the African Action Congress, of which I'm the presidential candidate. And I will give this country the best form of leadership it deserves, the one that you've never seen before. Finally, you get to have a president that believes in you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. It's an honor